You're way ahead of
made
us.
some questions for you
Okay.
to examine the merits of. There's open questions, right?
Yeah.
Remember these? Closed. Yep. And then leading questions. So we went for it. We tried.
Okay.
But we're definitely ready to talk about them and ask you
Okay.
what you think and who we can discuss who asked what type of questions.
Okay. Who
Who goes first? When we're talking about a criminal case, remember we talked about the different roles and everything. Who goes first in a criminal case?
The district,
Rudy.
the district attorney.
The district attorney or the prosecution is what they call it. So they go first. Does anybody know why? What do you think, John?
What I think, why?
Like just playing a little game.
You know, that's interesting because that happens a lot. Is sometimes people are victims of crime and they're kind of embarrassed about it. It may not be that they got bitten by a little dog, but they might think that, hey, I left my bike unlocked, so I deserve to have my bike stolen. Or I didn't lock my front door, so I deserve to have somebody like Goldilocks come into my house. And sometimes what we find is the people don't even call the police because of that, so we never know about the crime. But a lot of times, too, we'll call them up and say, well, what do you want us to do with this case? And they, well, you know, I left my car door open.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable John W. Madden presiding.
Thank you. Good morning. Please be seated. All right. This time we're going to be calling the case of the People versus Cole. We'll begin with the opening statements for the prosecution.
Goldilocks. A young girl with little patience and a lot of ambition. What would you do in this situation? You're lost in the woods and you're tired and hungry, even though you have the option to eat before you left. And you see a house in the woods, not yours, a neighbor's house, a citizen's house. And you go in, trespassing. Then, once you're in the house, since you didn't eat before you left, you see 3 bowls of porridge, obviously set out to be eaten later. And you try all of them? No, this is not okay. This is not a restaurant. This is a citizen's house. Their meal is not yours. Theft. Then, once you were in the house, she tried to sit down on someone else's chair, even though it was not hers, just because she was a little tired. And even though it was meant for someone a lot shorter and younger than her, surprisingly it broke. And she tried to put it back together, but obviously not hard enough. Then, still tired, she explored more of someone else's house, someone else's property, and went upstairs and found a bedroom with 3 beds for a family of 3. And she tried all of them to see which one she would get a good night's sleep in. And she found one and decided to fall asleep. Well, the Bear family came home that evening to find her in Baby Bear's bed. I will call witnesses such as Detective Yogi and Officer Smokey and the Bear family to the stand to ask them what they saw and heard. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. And usually at this point, we go ahead and proceed if you're ready to, on the defense opening statement, are you ready to proceed?
Yes.
You may.
On April 1st, 2010, around 7 o'clock, Goldilocks was playing in the woods. She soon lost her path. She was lost. She was hungry, cold, and tired. Goldilocks saw a house in the distance. When she got to the house, she smelled a delightful smell. Her stomach growled, so she had only ate the porridge because she was in an emergency. Then she had sat in Baby Bear's chair. She had no idea that it was going to break. She even tried to put it back together. After that, she stood up and groaned. Her back hurt. So she went upstairs and found a bed and fell asleep. When she woke up, there were three bears around her. These are true facts. She would never do this again. These are who you will hear being examined. The Bear family, Detective Yogi, Officer Smokey, Aunt Goldilocks, and Goldilocks. Thank you.
Promise that your testimony will remain true to the story.
Yes.
You may have a seat.
What happened on the night of April 1st, 2010?
We made porridge and it was hot, so we went on a walk for it to cool down. Then when we came back, the doors opened, the porridge was gone, Baby Bear's chair was broken, and there was someone in Baby Bear's bed.
So, was the person in the bed a stranger?
Yeah.
So, a person whom you didn't know came on your property. That's what I like to call trespassing.
Papa Bear, why did you go for a walk in the first place?
Because we made porridge and it was hot, so we wanted it to cool down.
Are you sure that the door was closed the whole entire time you were on your walk?
Not when Goldilocks came into the house.
What happened that evening? Well, we were making porridge and we went on a walk. When we came back, we saw our Baby Bear's porridge was gone, Baby Bear's chair was broken, and there's a little girl sleeping in Baby Bear's bed.
Why did you go for that walk?
So the porridge was cool.
How do you think she got into your house?
We left the door unlocked.
What would you do if you broke into someone's house, ate their porridge, broke their chair, and slept in someone else's bed, and they caught you?
I would tell you,
That you found in the bed in this courtroom today.
yes,
Where is she?
she is right over there.
For the record, the witness has pointed at Goldilocks.
Is it not true that Goldilocks said that she would pay for the damage of the
So tell me, what happened the evening of April 1st, 2010, from the beginning of the evening to the end?
Well, it all started when we made porridge and Dad decided for us to go to a walk to let it cool down.
Baby Bear? If you were lost in the woods, hungry, tired, and cold, would you go inside of this house because it was the only shelter available?
Maybe.
What did you do to investigate? Well, it was April 1st, 2010, and I got a call from Papa Bear saying he reported that he had a burglar in his house, and so I rushed over to the house and saw the bears and a girl with blonde hair. I asked her what her name was. After listening the bears' side of the story, I decided to arrest Goldilocks for the suspicions of criminal mischief, theft,
That's what
and
she said mean many different things.
It's possible.
Are you accusing her of saying, I guess I won't do that again?
Yes.
What did you do to investigate?
To investigate this case, I interviewed Mama Bear and Papa Bear and looked for clues. I couldn't look for clues in the dishes that the porridge was in because it had already been washed. I did see Baby Bear's broken chair, but when I was looking at Baby Bear's bed, I found a piece of gold hair on it, or blonde hair.
Did you ask the bears to see if they put it there?
No, I did not. Okay, no further.
Since you didn't see Goldilocks in bed, did the bear family put this piece of hair in the bed?
I have no evidence to suggest that. You were asked our case.
That will work. This time the prosecution rests their case. Does the defense wish to present any evidence in this case?
Yes.
All right. Defense, you may call your first witness.
Goldilocks. What was Goldilocks doing before she was caught in the bear's home?
She was playing outside in the woods.
Has Goldilocks ever got lost in the woods?
I've never known her to get lost in the woods because she plays there all the time.
Did Goldilocks know about the bear house before the incident?
No.
Were you at the house April 1st, 2010?
No.
So therefore you do not know what happened.
Yes.
No further questions.
Please tell the jury what happened on April 1st, 2010 around 7 o'clock at the Bear family's house. I was playing in the woods and lost my way. I was tired, hungry, and cold. Soon I stumbled upon a house. The door was unlocked, but I knocked anyway. Nobody answered. I called out and still nobody answered, so I went in. There were 3 bowls of porridge on the table. Since I was so hungry, I tried all of them and liked the 3rd one best. And okay, so the only reason you entered the house was because you were lost, tired, and hungry? Correct. Single. Okay. If this was not an emergency, would you have entered the house? No.
If you were in an emergency, would it have really mattered what bed you slept in?
No.
No further questions asked.
Thank you very much. Goldilocks, you may step down. Does the defense have any additional evidence at this time? Does the defense rest? All right. In that case, we've reached the point where we've reached the close of the evidence. The next step in the trial then will be the closing arguments. Is the prosecution ready to present their closing argument?
Yes.
You may go ahead, do so.
May I please support Caroline Bennett for defense attorney? District attorney, sorry. Today we are here in this trial with Goldilocks, who on April 1st, 2010, got lost in the woods and found a house. She went in the house without permission. That would be trespassing. Then she knew that what she did was wrong. She should be punished. That's my final statement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is the defense ready to present their closing argument? You may do so.
May it please the court. Delaney Flanagan for the defense. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today much evidence has been shared. The prosecution tried to convince you that Goldilocks is a criminal. She is not. She was lost in the woods and was tired and starving. Put yourself in her shoes. What would you have done? Would you have stayed out in the woods and risked starvation and exhaustion, or would you have looked for food and shelter? I know what I would have done. The facts presented by the prosecution are mostly consistent with what Goldilocks said really happened that day. The only piece of evidence that does not quite fit is Mama Bear's testimony about what Goldilocks said to her when she woke up. But there is a problem with this evidence. Papa Bear and Baby Bear were standing with Mama Bear when Goldilocks woke up, but they did not hear what Mama Bear said she heard. But the biggest problem with the prosecution's case is that Goldilocks did not run away after she allegedly committed these crimes. What did Goldilocks do? She took a nap. If Goldilocks thought she was breaking the law, why would she stick around instead of leaving the scene? As I hope we have shown you today, the prosecution's case simply does not make sense. Goldilocks is innocent. You should find her
I
guilty.
believe that Goldilocks is guilty because all of these are the prosecution is very convincing because if she tried every single one, and if she was really hungry, it wouldn't matter on the temperature, and if she was really tired, it wouldn't matter how comfortable the chair was or the bed was. So
believe that she's guilty on everything that she should be charged on all three.
Max wants to say something.
Well, I sort of agree with Jace, but I also agreed with Delaney's closing sentence about if she did do all of these, then why would she be staying around? So.
All right. Anybody else? What do you think?
Well, until the ending statement,
Closing argument. Oh, you forgot what you're going to say? Okay. Well, what do you think she's guilty or not? Use the mic. They can't hear you.
okay, I do believe Goldilocks is guilty.
Okay. Henry, you got something to say as the foreman?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
I think Goldilocks is guilty too.
Why do you think she's guilty, Henry?
Because that's what all the witnesses said.
So you believe the witnesses?
Yeah.
Okay, now, in order for a jury to find her guilty or not, what do you all have to do? You all have to agree. And it sounded like, Henry, why don't you ask the other jurors if they agree? Henry, so you think you guys all have a verdict? Okay, so what we would normally do is bring you all back into court when you told the judge your verdict, and then it'll be up to you to tell the judge what the jury decided. Okay, so can you do that?
Goldilocks is guilty.
All right, jury's found Goldilocks guilty of the crimes charged against her.